And that's my progress to date for the sweep picking part in a track called Imperial by a band called Silosis. This is all part of a 100-day sweep picking challenge that I've set myself, and I sometimes wish I had never set myself because it's been quite stressful at times. But the gains have been real. I've never been a good sweep picker. Sweep picker? Sounds weird. Sounds like trash picker or litter picker. I've never been good at sweep picking. And I finally feel like I'm making progress now. So I want to share it with you guys today, and I got 10 tips for you. All right, so tip number 1 is to find a song that you like that has a sweep pattern in it, because you're going to stay way more motivated to practice sweep picking if there's a really cool or heavy song that you really want to master. Tip number 2, take your DAW, in my case Reaper, and set up a template with the track in it. This way, you can practice easily and you can adjust the BPM here. Make sure that in the item settings, you preserve the pitch when changing play rate. That way you can slow it down and speed it up if you're feeling good enough and retain the pitch of the song. 3, video your progress. Do it regularly. Get 2 cameras so you can watch your left hand and your right hand very clearly, and you can identify your mistakes, but also where you're improving. Tip number 4 is to experiment with picks. Most of the time, I like this 1.5mm from D'Addario that has a nice kind of sharp end to it. Sometimes, though, I like to use a much thicker one. You know, it can be pretty frustrating trying to develop this technique. As I mentioned, it's definitely one of the hardest techniques when it comes to electric guitar. So just switching a pick can really change your dynamic, can really change your playing up. And it's a trick that I've used more than once when I've been practicing each day. Generally speaking, I don't like picks that are too thin for this. It's going to create a lot of noise. It's going to disrupt the flow when you're trying to sweep up and down. I would not go as thin as this. Pretty sure this is 0.5mm. I like these ones. Yeah, this is about as low as I would go. This is 1mm. All right, so my next tip is to identify the mistakes or the hardest parts of the sweep pattern, and then to build an exercise where you repeat those parts more than once. So in the case of this sweep, that hammer-on is super hard because there's so much space between each fret. It's literally 7 to 12. So in the sweep pattern, you go up and down and you hit it once. And yeah, it's super hard. It's a big stretch. So what I've gone and done is created a little pattern where I go down and up, but I hit it twice. All right, my next tip is about left hand placement, specifically about thumb placement, because where you put your thumb is going to dictate the range between your pinky and your index finger. So the lower you go on the neck, the less comfy it's going to be to play, but the more range you're going to have between your index and your pinky, and vice versa. If I bring it up, it's going to limit the range there. So this was a problem for me in the beginning. I was playing with my thumb sort of up here, I think, and that was really limiting my range. And at slower speeds, it's okay, but when you try to get faster, you're going to really notice how the lack of range is affecting your accuracy and your ability to actually build speed. So I actually had to adjust slightly. My thumb sits around the sort of edge here. Just bring that down around there. Pokes up a little bit. Sometimes it comes down. It kind of pivots between these 2 points. Okay, tip number 6. You might find that you're much better at sweeping in one direction than the other. So I'm much better at sweeping up, which means I need to practice going down a lot more, especially when I'm trying to build speed. I really focus on going down because I know the upstrokes, for some reason, not really sure why, are just a lot easier. Tip number 7 is an easy one. Take some time just to practice with a metronome. If you use a backing track over time, it's going to hide some of your mistakes. All right, so tip number 8, watch out for muting. What I mean by muting is blocking those strings that you're not playing, touching them with your palm. to avoid any unnecessary noises as you're going up and down. This takes some time to develop, and you're probably going to make more noise in the beginning than you actually control, but it's definitely important. It's definitely something that I see a lot of guitar players neglect. And yeah, just take your time, go slow with it. So I can show you what I mean. All right, tip number 9 is to use that bridge pickup because it's going to pick up more of your mistakes than that neck pickup. All right, tip 10 is that you might pick up a few little weird elements in your technique when you sweep. And I think this is just because there's just so much going on, right, when you're sweeping. You're trying to keep both hands in sync, trying to keep it smooth, trying to dampen the strings as well as you're going down. So let me tell you how it affects me. When I sweep, I don't go straight down and up. I go at a slight angle, very slight angle sometimes. And initially, I was kind of worried about it, but it doesn't affect what I'm trying to achieve. I don't think it's affecting my economy of motion very much. We'll see, I guess. I mean, I can sweep at a fairly high speed now, so just have to see how it goes.